day and good evening, everyone. I'm Chancellor Rosario, and today's topic of interest is coral bleaching. This is when corals lose their colors, resulting in them turning white due to the many reasons that contribute to this ongoing issue here in Guam. Guam's coral reefs are currently experiencing a rapid decline due to combined local stressors and the impacts of global climate change. Climate change is still a big issue that continues to affect Guam's coral reefs, where coral bleaching was at its highest between 2014 and 2017. This is caused by ocean warming, which is a result of increased greenhouse gases. If climate change continues to escalate and the water temperatures are constantly changing, Guam will face threats to human health, sea levels rising, and even more stronger and more dangerous typhoons.
Hafade Guahan, as Chancellor was saying,
damaging our coral reefs will be detrimental to Guahan and its people. Our coral reefs help to protect the beaches that draw in local residents and tourists. Mass bleaching events are strongly correlated with increased sea surface temperatures of 1 degree Celsius or more above average. In response to stresses such as higher water temperatures, corals can lose the symbiotic microscopic algae, which provides up to 95% of the coral's nutrition from their tissues, causing them to look white or bleached, hence the term coral bleaching. Observed and predicted global warming suggests that bleaching is expected to increase over the next 30 to 50 years. With this increase, Guahan will be impacted significantly, both socially and economically. Tourism is important to the island of Guahan. It is one of the largest industries on the island, representing over 50% of Guahan's economy and bringing in over $1.5 billion to the economy annually. Tourist exit surveys show that 37% of visitors come to Guam for the sea, sun, and sand, 5% for scuba diving, and 15% for other water sports. Without our coral reefs, what would our tourism industry look like? What would Guahan look like? Our coral reefs are important to both local residents and tourists. Guahan's natural beauty and beaches attract tourists from all around the world, and it is why many Chamorros are proud to call Guahan their home. Which brings us back to Chansa, as she speaks in relation to culture.
Fishing has been a big part of the culture here in Guam and elsewhere in the Pacific Islands, which has played an important part not just culturally but for nutritional and social purposes. But the causes of overfishing can cause cascading effects, which can reduce the numbers of grazing fish that keep corals clean from algal overgrowth. If algal overgrowth is present, the algae will smother the corals, resulting in coral bleaching and even introducing diseases that can affect both the people and the reef.
Hafade Guam. If you're just tuning in, here are some things you should know. We are currently facing a battle in the Pacific, a battle against our coral ecosystems and a battle against ourselves. But is there anyone to blame? Who's being affected? And is anybody doing anything about this crisis? Overall, we are all responsible for carbon emissions to some extent, but some groups have more of an effect on coral ecosystems than others. Recreational activities such as hunting and off-roading, if done irresponsibly, can directly lead to erosion into our oceans. Also, the thousands of U.S. Marines and their dependents will soon be relocating from Japan to Guam. The military buildup on Guam will increase the island's population by approximately 50% and is expected to lead to increased white syndrome infections and other coral diseases. This attempt to sharpen the tip of America's spear will maintain a strong strategic position in the Pacific comes with a cost. This increase in military population in Guam increases levels of sewage, carbon emissions, and harmful pollutants that will all affect coral reef ecosystem. Here on Guam, the safety of all humans, food security, and the stability of ecosystems are all impacted by coral bleaching. Currently, organizations such as Guam EPA, USGS, the University of Guam, and the Coral Reef Task Force all have projects related to helping protect the coral that we have left. The motivating factors are strong, as if nothing is done to help preserve the coral reefs and stop climate change, it will be soon too late to fix our mistakes. So the deeper underlying factors of the coral bleaching crisis, climate change, and the irresponsibility of human activities that are preventing us from living in harmony with nature.
The effects of coral bleaching have put our reefs under a great threat. Coral reefs are declining globally and have made a significant political, social, cultural, and economic impact on the island of Guam. Bleaching caused by rising sea temperatures have killed more than a third of Guam's coral reefs in the past 6 years, being the largest mass mortality of coral reefs, leaving Pago Bay as the last living coral along the island's coast. With higher than normal ocean temperatures, corals lose algae, also known as zooxanthellae, that gives them their distinct coloring and primary food source, which is critical to the nutrient recycling that brings the high productivity of coral reefs. In other words, warmer than normal water is stressing corals on Guam, resulting in complete death of the colony. The loss of zooxanthellae may result in slower growth rates or make corals more likely to diseases or other stressors. This affects coral reefs in the future by the result of an overall decrease in ecosystem health, slowed reef growth, and a severe loss in habitat for reef fish and other organisms. This means much fewer fish to eat and sell, fewer tourists seeking attractive reefs, and reefs that can't protect shorelines from erosion and other infrastructure from the impacts of storm surge and flooding. The constantly increasing temperatures associated with global warming are likely to increase the frequency and magnitude of coral bleaching events. These high temperatures will likely arrive sooner rather than later.
Hello there. My name is Patrick Marquez, and today we will be talking about the strategies to support our coral. The first would be spreading awareness through studies, media, and action would also be a good start. Second is cleaning up beaches since corals need clean water to thrive. Third, we must tell people about the Guam Coral Reef Initiative or any organization that supports corals. Donating and fundraising also helps the organizations that I mentioned. Encouraging the government to support our coral is also important since it's beneficial to our tourist industry. The last strategy is to support research towards coral as we want to find knowledge about coral that would benefit future generations. And remember, please be moral for our coral.